Alright, what's going on, guys? So, quite a few of you have been asking me on how to get pool skips at Raksha. I figured I'd throw together something quick and easy just to show you guys what rotation you can use to get it done. Now, biggest thing to keep in mind is that the rotation itself isn't that important. What's important is that before phase 3, which is 400,000 health, you've built up 5 stacks of residual souls, and you have split soul available. Ideally, having 12 stacks of necrosis is also good. So typically, when I'm doing Raksha in particular, I like to build up all of those things during my living death instead of using my living death to focus just on death skulls and finger of death. Keep all of that in mind, that you want to go into the beginning of phase 3 with death skulls off cooldown, 5 stacks of volley, and split soul available. You have all of those, you should be able to get it decently consistent. Because the damage requirements of this are so high, you pretty much have to have tier 95. There's just not really a way to get around that. I have full tier 95, full necromancer gear. I have Scripture of Jazz. I figure most of you have a Scripture of Jazz by now, especially if you're looking to get pool skips. So that's the book I'm going to be using. You can also use a grimoire with a Calgarian Demon and Calgarian Demon scrolls, but that is much more expensive than just using a Scripture of Jazz and a Ripper Demon with no scrolls. This rune pouch is just for a prayer bonus. I don't use Disruption Shield or anything here. You can, but you definitely don't need to, especially if you're using Darkness. For our amulet, we're using Essence of Finality with Death Guard. This isn't mandatory, but if your damage is kind of low rolling during the phase 3 beginning part, then having the extra 20k or so damage from Death Guard can be what pushes you over the edge into a pool skip with 0 in range. Finally, we have Tzkal Cape. It's just the best cape by an extreme margin. You almost certainly need Tzkal Cape. If for no other reason, then it just gives you an insane amount of damage, and you probably shouldn't be doing Raksha trying to do pool skips if you don't have a Tzkal Cape, because a no Tzkal Cape pool skip is probably possible, but you're going to be looking at like 5-minute kills. So at that point, Raksha probably isn't worth doing. Besides that, we're bringing Ectoplasm, Vulnerability Bombs, and our Necromancy runes. We're bringing Adrenaline Renewal. This isn't crazy important, but the goal of getting a pool skip is to kill Raksha fast. So if you're trying to kill Raksha fast, maxing out on damage where you can, or maxing out on adrenaline where you can, is going to be in your best interest. You can definitely do this with enhanced replenishment potions, but I'm opting into adrenaline renewals just for a kill or two. I'm not going to go over my exact rotation because it's a lot to be pressing the buttons as I'm pressing them and focus on doing Raksha's mechanics. Once I'm in P3, I'll be more seriously saying what I'm doing, but until then, we're just gonna get into it. For your aura, you can use Dark Magic or Majorat. Either's fine. Majorat's a little bit better, so whichever you prefer. Okay, so we'll summon our Ripper, turn on our Jazz book. Summon all of our guys. We'll walk here, life transfer, invoke death, activate skeleton, skulls. So even though I got a relentless proc, I'm just gonna do this normally because it's not about whether or not you get a relentless proc. Skulls. Back up 2 squares here and we're not gonna walk back in. One thing that can happen if you walk back in is that Raksha will actually start bouncing the skulls to the pools, and you don't want to do that. We're just gonna bloat here. Not the best thing that we can do, but it's pretty good, so. So now we're going to use both of our conjure abilities. Use Split Soul, Omniguard, Basic Attack, Finger of Death, Basic Attack, Skulls, basic attack, 5-stack volley, death guard, and he's phased. So there I didn't even have to use my death guard, I just did it for insurance, so that just goes to show you that you don't need death guard if you're hitting decently.
Release me. Release me. You must finish him quickly. The secondary defenses will not hold for long.
Now we're just building our stacks again. Building up 5-stack volley is going to be the most important thing here. It's not super important for getting this last phase done fast, but again, if you're doing pool skips, then speed is kind of the whole point here. So we're going to pick up the anima that went near us. We're going to split soul, special action button. Float, skulls, omni guard. And then we're just going to burst him. Yeah, that's a 211. We also got fleeting boots. That's pretty cool. So, nice.
Well done. I will return Raksha to his confinement.
Now we're just going to do another kill with enhanced replenishment pots to show that you don't need adrenaline renewals. So we're just doing our setup again. Skulls, vulnerability bomb, soul sap, touch of death, basic attack, soul sap, living death, skulls, activate skeleton, soul sap, finger of death.
You may think you hear it speaking. Ignore it and focus.
There you
are. You can see that we're still able to kill it, but one of the big things that we're missing out on is we don't get to float during our death skulls, or during our living death rather. So we're just going to do the same thing here. Omni Guard, basic. Skulls, basic. 5-stack volley. Finger of death. Basic. Death guard. Touch of death. And we got our full skip. So there, what I just did was I equipped and unequipped my lantern during one global cooldown. If you can do that, it just makes life a lot easier. Gives you a lot more damage, which is nice. Since you're not losing any time resummoning all of your guys. Well, here, I'm just building up stacks. We're max stacks, so we're just going to hit the boss now. Grab all these guys. Special action button. Skulls. Float. Volley, and then dive out. Finger of death. Finger of death. Death guard. He's dead. But yeah, hopefully this quick demo kind of shows you what you can do to get your own pool skips. And if this gets, I don't know, 50 likes, then I'll give away this fleeting boost to someone who liked the video. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.